Hello, I'm Matteo, the Chief Mobile Opinionist here at Tech Travel Geeks, and this is the third video in our series on the Honor 90 smartphone. Now, if all goes to plan, we will have already published our specs and first impressions video about the device, and we will also have published our unboxing. And this is the third video where we're going to go through the detailed setup. I'm going to set this up as I would with most smartphones I use, and give you some first impressions as we go. Right then, so the Honor 90 is a lovely soft plastic device. Now, I'm not going to argue with you in the comments. It is made out of plastic. It is unapologetically so. So if you are someone who really believes this is glass, take your beliefs and leave us a flame war comment in the comments section below, because that's definitely the way we roll here. Anyway, I'm taking my nano SIM, this is a physical nano SIM, and putting it into the SIM tray. This does take two nano SIMs, it's a dual SIM device, but there's no space here for micro SD. So I'm going to go back to the bottom of the device, make sure I align the hole in the SIM tray with the ejector hole there, and like magic, it fits in nice and flush. And as you can see at the bottom here, we have the USB Type-C port for data and charging. Now, looking at the Honor 90, it is quite the looker, and I like the way they've modernized those two camera module islands on the back of the device. But what I'm going to do is face the device towards me and long press the power button that's on the side of the device under the volume rocker. There we go. Got a little bit of haptic feedback. Honor, powered by Android. And in case you don't already, please do subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks here on YouTube. We cover consumer electronics, gadgets, accessories, mobile devices, and fashion. Essentially anything we think makes the travel experience better. And whilst I waffled on about people subscribing to our channel, the device has started booting up, the powered by Android has disappeared, and now we have the Magic OS logo. Magic OS is Honor's Android distribution that the Honor 90 runs on. Right, time to select our language, English, and I'm in the United Kingdom, great. I have put a UK SIM card in here, so there will be some pre-setup on behalf of the device. The config will be adapted to the network that is being set up. Next up, I'll need to enter my Wi-Fi password. So the keyboard here is SwiftKey by Microsoft. It is a good keyboard. I personally do not enjoy using it as much as I use Gboard, and probably I've made a mistake here because of the unusual layout to me. Let me try again. Okay, hopefully I got it right this time. Nope, maybe third time's a charm. Nope, I really have to practice using Microsoft SwiftKey. Right then, I eventually got it right. As I was saying, Microsoft SwiftKey is not my favorite keyboard, and this posed a bit of a challenge whilst entering my Wi-Fi password. It's not usually this bad, but it may be the slightly smaller ergonomics of the device compared to the Honor Magic 5 Pro I'm currently reviewing, or the Google Pixel 7 Pro. Now, next up, we get offered the option to copy apps and data over from another device. I'm going to purposefully select Don't Copy. I want to set this up as a new device, start afresh, and experience the whole setup and tuning of the device to my personal preferences as much as possible. And part of that involves Google and the Google Play Store. Obviously, to use that service, which the Honor 90 has, yes, the Honor 90 has full Google services, I need to sign into my Google account. Okay, so next up I need to go through two-step verification with my other Google device, and that's great. So I've approved the two-factor authentication. Next up, we have a screen where we're asked who will be using this device. There is an option in the Google setup to set this up for a child or someone else. In this case, I will be using the device, but it's great to see Google offer some slightly more capable parental controls on the Google-friendly versions of Android. So I accept all the Google terms of service. In Google we trust. This is an ongoing motto at the Tech Travel Geeks YouTube channel. We're going to accept all usage of the device and our data because we, as I said, in Google we trust. Next up, this is a screen you will likely only see in Europe. It is the search engine ballot screen where you choose what the default search engine is on your phone.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
And in this case, it is going to be Google. So once that's done, it's going to give us the Google Assistant setup, and I agree to that. Hopefully I don't have to use voice match. I've already done this enough times recently to not need to do it again. And yes, I do want to use the Google Assistant without unlocking my device. It is quite handy, especially when driving using Android Auto. It's a cool thing. So next up, I need to set up my my Honor ID. I will need to see if I can enable quick login from the Honor Magic 5 Pro, which I have here. So let's see what it says. It says, place the phone or tablet logged into Honor ID closer. Let's just check that we have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on. There we go. Quick login. It says to scan the QR code. So that's done. And then Honor 90 is logging into Honor ID. So this is a handy way of setting up your Honor smartphone if you already have one. And this has essentially saved me typing in my password using Microsoft SwiftKey. This is quite a great experience this time. Good to see. So yes, let's set up Fingerprint ID. But before that, I need to set up a PIN code. Great, so now that's set up, we can add the fingerprint using that in-screen fingerprint scanner. So the fingerprint scanner here is a little bit lower down on the screen. It sits under that lovely OLED display on the Honor 90. And I have to say, after the setup experience so far, it is a lovely, lovely display. And there we go. Now we're moving over to the edges of my fingerprint. It's detecting everything quite well. We're doing the edges, and that's my thumb added to fingerprints scanning. Next up, we'll set up face recognition as well. That way you get to see my ugly mug in this video too. And we're going to enable Raise to Wake. There we go. That was easy. So I enhance services. In Honor we trust. It's always good to have a secondary backup of all your data in China. If anything goes wrong, you can always get it back with a Freedom of Information request in about 20 years' time. Next up, we have a quick tutorial on how to use gesture navigation. This seems to be the default on Honor devices. So swipe from the sides to go back, and it works on both sides. It is really easy if you're not using a case on this phone to do that, because you have, in this case, a nice curved screen that tapers in at the end. So I need to lift and hold to go into multitasking, and then you can close things. So this is just a quick tutorial on how to use gesture navigation. Obviously, as usual, as part of our review and long-term review, we will be publishing some smaller how-to videos, and one of the ones I'm pretty sure will be asked for in the comments to our videos is how to switch gesture navigation off. So make sure you're subscribed and you have the notification bell on, and you'll be notified of when we do publish that video eventually. Right then, so that's interesting. The device seems to have switched off. Oh no, it's still going through its whole setup thing. So there you go, we're now on the home screen, but oddly it went into a black screen, and you can see we're in the usual Honor home screen. The app drawer is off by default, but we do have our Google feed in the left panel, and so this is all doing quite well. Look, there's a sponsored post from Honor UK about the launch on the 6th of July. If all goes to plan, you'll be watching this video on the 8th of July, but I'm going to cross my fingers nothing happens that makes it not happen. Anyway, back to the home screen of the Honor 90. All great. So let's pull down. There's Honor Connect. We'll just close that for now. It's suggesting we finish setting up our Honor 90. I thought we had just gone through that, but it's saying to getting it ready to go. So it's probably going to try and get us to copy an apps and data over. And I said no last time, I'll say no this time as well. Don't copy. Great. So I don't want to copy the apps and data over, I want to set this up as a new device. I don't want to add another email, vision settings, or change wallpaper. And that means we're done. Okay, so as I said, we have the Honor home screen with its news feed on the left, and no app drawer. So first thing I'm going to do here is open the large folder on the home screen. I've accidentally opened the calendar, let's exit. I'm going to open the settings panel, and I'm going to go to home screen and wallpaper. So you've got all these lovely settings, but the key thing I'm going to go for is home screen style. And I'm going to go to drawer. I like having my apps hidden away. I don't need them all at the same time. And that way I can pull up from the bottom and have the full app drawer there. Now, first impression whilst scrolling there is great. That is lovely. It's fluid, fast, very responsive. That's really, really impressive. That may in part be due to the fact that this Honor 90 is running on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 chip. Maybe the fact that it has a high refresh rate, which in this case is really quite impressive. Let's have a look at the settings for the display. So I'll set up dark mode because I quite enjoy that. Brightness can stay on automatic. We'll leave everything pretty much the same. Screen resolution will be smart. So interesting setup here. So the resolution of this display is a step above previous versions of Honor devices. It's 1200 pixels wide, so it's more than full high definition plus, and it's 2664 pixels high. So that gives it a slightly higher pixel density. It's now 435 pixels per inch. And on that diagonal 6.7 inches, I hadn't noticed, when you get to that sort of pixel per inch density, it's very difficult to actually notice a difference. But considering its higher resolution and it is 120 Hz refresh rate, I'm really quite impressed. Also, brightness seems to be quite good. Let's see how brightness works when we ramp it all the way up. Okay, that is bright. So on paper that means that it's 1600 nits. I'll leave it in automatic because most people will do that. They'll trust the device to keep brightness as needed. Okay then, so we've looked at the Honor's display, we've set up the home screen to be more like what we want, we've set up dark mode, great. Now let's go into the settings and see if there's an OS update, an operating system update, system and updates, software update. And as you can see, this is running Honor Magic OS 7.1. We seem to currently have the latest version of the software, but as I said, this is a pre-release device. We'll see what happens in the next week after the announcement of the Honor 90. The announcement is happening in Paris. I'm sure everyone will have a great time enjoying the fumes coming from the sewers, the rioting, and whatever else Paris has to offer. We haven't been invited, but luckily we did get the Honor 90 and the benefit of not having to go to Paris. Okay, so we have set up the display. Let's go into the Play Store, update all the apps there, and start downloading the apps that I use most. Manage apps and device. There's 29 updates pending. There are some pre-installed apps such as Booking.com, Microsoft SwiftKey, TikTok, Trip.com. So let's just update all apps in there. Fantastic, that's happening in the background. So whilst this is happening, let's have a look at the pre-installed apps. So starting from the bottom, WPS Office, Trip.com, TrainPal, Netflix, Lords Mobile, Game of Sultans. There is quite a few pre-installed apps from third parties, including Booking.com. Now, looking at these apps, just a words of disclosure here. Tech Travel Geeks was started when both Lukasz, our Chief Aperture Officer, and I worked for a subsidiary of Trip.com. Lukasz does still work for a subsidiary of Trip.com, I don't. But this is a perfect example to test how to uninstall an app on the Honor 90. I'm going to long press the Trip.com button, and nothing seems to happen. Oh, there we go. And we have uninstall. It took a while there, was a bit of reaction time, but now it's pretty much immediate. So we can click uninstall. Do you want to uninstall this app? Easy peasy. And pretty much the same with TrainPal. You can long press on it, click uninstall, and uninstall. What that does is free up a bit of space if you're not going to be using that app, and uses less data, whether on Wi-Fi or mobile networks, in updating the apps. Also, Game of Sultans doesn't really attract me as a game. I'm going to uninstall that. And that should be it done. So, good to see that it's really easy to uninstall the pre-installed apps. It's currently updating other apps in the background. We only have 15 to update now. And whilst that's going on, we can stay in the Google Play Store and I'll start searching for the apps that I use the most. Now, first things first, great to see Microsoft SwiftKey adapt to dark mode, but I really want Gboard now. I'm sorry, I've had enough of Microsoft SwiftKey. Let's install Gboard. What else shall we install? Well, Google offer quite a suite of apps. Obviously, we'll need Google Wallet to use the Honor 90 to make payments. It will be one of those things that needs to be set up in a bit more detail. Google Chat, I still do use that to speak to friends. Google Translate, very useful. Google Photos is already installed, great. Google Calendar is installed. Google Maps is there. Google Meet. Files by Google, handy app to have, I'll add that. Sometimes it is easier to access Drive files in my experience from the Google Files app than it is from the Drive app for some reason. Google News, definitely want that. Since I came off Twitter, I've stopped using Twitter actively. I get my news mainly from Google News. It seems to surface things that are useful. Google One is very useful in this case. I subscribe to Google One, which means I buy storage access through Google One. It also provides a free VPN, which is actually quite good. Google Lens, very easy way to find information about things you can see. Google Assistant, we'll need to install that, but I believe it's already partially pre-installed through the device. And there's a few other apps. YouTube is updating, YouTube Music, Google Authenticator. Great, everything seems to be there from Google. Next up, let's search for my Amazon apps. I am a big Amazon consumer in the sense of I subscribe to Amazon Prime, have all the benefits that come with that. Obviously with Amazon Shopping, so this is obviously the Google Play Store updating itself, and as it's doing that, it will be stopping updates. So there are a few updates and app installations pending. Let's just go back to Amazon and start off with that. Okay, so we've got Amazon Shopping. Amazon Prime Video, yes, lots of great content on there. Amazon Music, yes, I do use that to stream music. Audible, probably my most used app on smartphones. I regularly do things like go for walks, do gardening, and have Audible on in the background. Usually I use Bluetooth earphones to do that, but Audible's definitely there. And a close second is my podcasts app, Pocket Casts. It's my favorite podcast client. So we've got Amazon Music, Audible, and Pocket Casts. Next up, we'll need the whole Facebook thing. And when I say Facebook, it's actually Meta nowadays. So Facebook is already pre-installed, but I will want Instagram, Messenger, and almost more importantly, Telegram. It's not a Meta app, but it is my preferred messaging app to speak to friends. It's my favorite because I can use Telegram across multiple devices and it's not tied to your phone number. So you can be logged in on multiple devices at once and things mirror between them. Obviously, it will be annoying people by having TikTok. If you think you'd like to see more TikTok or TikTok-like content, leave us a comment in the section below. We'll do our best to start doing YouTube Shorts a little bit more. But in the meantime, we've installed a few apps in the background. Let's see how we're getting on with that with the Google Play Store. Manage apps and device. So yes, we're still in the process of installing those things. What I'm going to do now is set up Gboard, which should be visible here. See that blue icon, Gboard? I'm going to click on that. Let's enable it in settings, turn it on. The input method may be able to collect all the text that you type. Well, yes, that's how it works. Let's actually switch off Microsoft SwiftKey whilst we're there. Then we'll select input method, it's selected, Gboard, and that's it done. Now we're in the settings for Gboards. A few things I usually do is turn off glide typing, go into the preferences and switch off haptic feedback, and that's pretty much it. If we want to change the theme, you can do so, but I just stay with dynamic color, which reflects the dark mode on the Honor 90. Great, so we've seen specs and so forth. This does have a 5000 mAh battery. It's gone down just under 6% as we've been setting the device up, but this is far too early to make any judgment on battery life. What I'll do is go away, use this a bit. Obviously, we'll be producing our first look or first impressions of the Honor 90 on the Tech Travel Geeks YouTube channel. We'll have published it by the time you see this video for a couple of days. Do go and check out that video and our unboxing, and make sure you're subscribed to the Tech Travel Geeks here on YouTube. We cover consumer electronics, gadgets, accessories, pretty much anything else we think makes the travel experience better. And mobile, as usual, is very, very important to us. But for now, if you made it this far, thank you for watching this video, and we shall be back soon. Goodbye.